that hard. There's kind of more rolling. And New Zealand's adapted to that well. In our first year, we were pretty stringent on it, and it meant a lot more penalties, but now I think we've got our refereeing interpretations right on cue. That'll help us big time in the World Cup. Got a sweeper again. We're running the sweep. Comes back short side. And Northern Strikers getting right off their line. They're not defending on that line, which is good policy. You must lift. Look after the short side here. Going for the quickie on the punish. But Northern Strikers diffuse that with ease. And now they'll box hard. Chuck to winger chuck into link, and we drive again. They'll want to get a bit of flow here. Get the ball down. Beat the toucher to the ground. Brings a sweeper on. Going long. Spreading and stretching them.
Yeah, they won't be too worried about scoring on this one, as I'm sure we're about to hear the hooter. As we see the Northern Strikers take a commanding lead, 5-1 into this, the first half, the first of our live stream games. Be back for the second half in just a moment.
The kaupapa of a Mohia Te Waiora is to promote alcohol harm minimisation that is mana enhancing, community owned and strength based. A Mohia Te Waiora means to uphold wellness. It's designed to be championed by communities, whānau and people who want to change the place of alcohol in our society. We support local and cross-government actions that make alcohol less visible, less affordable and less available to help shift social norms. This is our contribution to a healthier and more equitable Aotearoa, because we're stronger when we kōrero together, work together, support each other, haka together, take the field together, awhi each other, be there for each other, manaaki one another, stand together. Let's reduce alcohol harm, Aotearoa.
Sport. It feeds our lives, builds our communities. It is our light, our love, our laughter. Sport's got your back, and so do we.
Welcome back, whānau. Welcome back to our game here at the lovely Beachlands, where the Northern Strikers are leading 5-1. The weather conditions have improved. There is no rain, and it is actually pleasant and warm as the two teams come together to get their final instructions before coming out into the second half. You can see there, it looks like they've broken some of their team up into middles, links and wingers amongst the Northern Strikers just to get some focus. And over in the Central Stingrays, they're doing a whole team huddle. Different ways of giving your teams instructions before they go back into the half. Maya, what's your interpretation of the first half?
Yeah, just a pretty clinical performance there from the Northern Strikers. Both teams had relatively equal amounts of tack on the line, but just the Northern Strikers were a lot more accurate. We see here as we go through the try-lights of that first half.
Referees, 30 seconds.
Just Hutchinson going over for the first one here, Shane. But yeah, unfortunately for the Stingrays, when they were down on that attacking line, they weren't really putting the Strikers' defence under that much pressure, which is, I'm sure, what has been spoken about in the big huddle.
Yeah, really good exhibition there from our Northern Strikers in the first half. We want to acknowledge our event sponsors, SAS, Silver Fern, Asics, Amohia Te Waiora. We are stronger without alcohol, whānau. Many of these franchises could not be here without the generous support of their sponsors, Runor, Ad staff and Kiwi staff. Thank you to our sponsors for being the strength behind our game.
Second half about to kick off here, and this is the first of our live stream games on day one. Shane, it's the Stingrays getting us underway.
They'll be looking probably, Maya, just to reduce their error rate, to pull back a touchdown or two, which will give them the confidence as they run towards the line now. Passes back inside, pulling the middles out from the Northern Strikers. 32 platform, runs the quickie to the short side. Well done, Northern Strikers. Nice on that line. Dropping quickly, lifting fast. All the elements of a good defensive line. Here they come again, lifting. Nice read of the imminent touch. They shoot open side 4-3, but nicely in the channel. Touch the ball back to one, and our Stingrays get another chance at the line.
I really like the adjustment the Stingrays have made. They've you look at the defence for the Strikers, they're now they're moving them laterally, whereas before they were just going north-south. The defence was now moving them laterally, making them those gates wider.
Nice crossover quickie there, coming from one side of the field, crossing over, getting it straight back and trying to run the toucher to the outside. Great defence, though, by the Strikers. Another sweep play. Gives the quickie back. A nice little sweep with the QB or quickie back.
Sometimes the defender's so high and early, you wonder how they could have possibly have waited for the dummy half to touch the ball.
Runs a rooster. He's gone through. That's that little tricky one where we don't know if the link's going to make the touch or the middle's going to make the touch. And so we have a bit of hesitation, and he slices through. Watch the rooster. Comes around. 32 on that little peel. Running outside. The middle and the link will probably have a little bit of a discussion about that as they walk off the field and how they're going to defend that next time.
First game for both teams. They're both probably trying to find their rhythm. We talked about they probably hadn't had that much time together to build these combinations. So it's great to see that in the second half, the adjustments the coaches have asked of this Stingrays team. Unfortunately, just a weak one probably hit back there, Shane.
Yeah, it was a really good start by the Stingrays. Our link had really good communication, asked him to stay out, but may have been in a little bit too tight there. Had enough, and he's got a bit of speed, that link, and so we're looking for a mismatch of speed, and yep, he did have it. Well done. Unfortunate for the Stingrays, and we're 1-1 in the second half. 6-2 is our game score. Nice check off there, getting some big yards. It's a nice start.
Yeah, straight away some variance in the attack from the Stingrays. The effort was there in the first half with just the accuracy and variety. They almost
is that our man again?
To the exact same play, Shane.
Oh, another nice play. That confusion between the middle and the link. They'll be looking to get the D sorted out between link and middle about what they're going to do on that.
Ben Anderson it was, one of the attacking forces for the Nelson team. Great player, leader, led them to victory at the national tournament.
Yeah, tricky one there, Matt. He was pulled over to the far side of the field, to the left side, leaving a big open side for running. And if you've got some wheels and you've got a big open side to run, it's going to be a foot race. And Ben Anderson having enough toe that time, and with such a long frame, he could also dive. A triple threat. Another rooster comes back short side. Ref says play on. I love the play on call. The biggest advantage you can give is play on. Good recovery.
Oh, I thought that should have been at least the penalty, if not the touchdown.
Well, lucky we're so far away, Maya, we can't see it. Nice strike. Lovely strike by our number 7 from the Stingrays. Hamiora Tamati, great read, shutting it straight down as they box hard.
This is the contest we wanted to see, Shane. Obviously, the Northern Strikers still out by 3, but in the second half, 2-1 to the Stingrays so far. And for me, it's the variety that they're throwing at this defensive team.
Nice footwork running, late cut, knocked down.
I was hoping to see one of the Stingray players run through there with a bit of IQ play, grab the ball and put a touchdown.
Having just come back from Australia, Maya, what really impressed me was the speed of their yards through the field. It is relentless and it is at top speed. The ball is down and the ball is up. They can effect the touch with both hands. The ball is down straight away and they've got running options. Hardest thing to defend is a team running at you fast. And so New Zealand will be wanting to try and do that and replicate that in these games to get our speed. We've got an intercept, gets in the lane.
Yeah, that's been happening forever for me. My first Trans-Tasman was in 2009, Men's Open in Wollongong. And at half-time, I nearly had to say I couldn't do it. It was just the fastest game I'd ever been part of in my life. And by the end of the game, it was the best thing in the world. The Australians are incredible.
Bad news, Maya, they've got faster.
Good news, I don't have to ref them.
Go short side. Questions asked about whether he was onside. The ref's comfortable that he was. It's a good diving touch as the Northern Strikers look to box off. High in the ruck there, got a delayed touch. That's a nice ball down. And we've got a fumble. We're going to have to get those little things right. Do the boring stuff well is what they're saying in Australia. Do the boring stuff well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I imagine the conditions won't be the finest in the world over at in the UK, where we are for the World Cup. Should play a little bit more into our hands if we can take that across. We're used to playing in stuff like this. Oh, I thought we were going to go down for a phase play.
Nice dive. Big, powerful man, able to get dynamic and get underneath quickly. Number 2, Quinton Matangi, setting up again. Just those little things at the ruck, doing the boring stuff well, so we can get flow.
Fundamental parts of the game. If you can't do those parts right, you don't get onto the flash stuff.
It's a little bit tough. Looking for a penalty. Fabulous talk between the two sideline refs, between the sideline ref and our middle ref. Our controlling ref out there looking straight at the sideline straight away to see if there's anything he needed to get from the sideline ref, of which he did. Great teamwork.
6-3. If the Stingrays can get across here, Shane, it's real game on. They would be 3-1 up in this half. The momentum would be sitting squarely with them.
And every touch is important. Every score is important, Maya, as we have incorrect subbing 7 on the field. We're taking it back to 1989 when we could play with 7, but the rules have shifted. Yeah, even getting points on the board for Central, it could come down to a points for and against, and we're going to get the calculators out at dawn, work out the points differential. So even if you're not winning a game, Maya, it's so important to defend touchdowns and put a couple on. Comes back at the end. We've all been in tournaments, Maya, where 3 teams on the same points differential at the end of the game, and they get through on an extra try. As we run another sweeper here through Northern Strikers. What I'm liking on this strike from our man, number 13, is Tamatea Winiana, is he's getting right at the advantage line when he receives the ball, catching the players offside, asking some good questions. Here we go, another sweep coming. Chucking again, gets the outside middle, runs the short side, and we're playing on, bat on.
Yep, 5 teams in each grade, so they play 3 of the round-robin games today. The 4th of those games played in the morning. The top seed goes straight through to the final. The 2nd and 3rd seed play each other to see who plays them in the final tomorrow.
That's great for our young men. A lot of touch in 2 days. Those little things, the bobble, I talked about it. We're playing on Kikuyu grass. You're going to get bobbles on the grass. You've got to control that ball. As we see the Northern Strikers just taking it down the line, taking it through the box. One of the other things I'm seeing in Australia is they're relaying, what they call relaying the ball a lot, Maya. They're throwing right across to the winger, and they're throwing it back again, just playing with the opposition, teasing them, pulling them up, pulling them out, pulling them up, pulling them out, and then they strike.
The intensity of this game's really lifted in the second half, Shane.
Yeah.
Both the speed from both teams now. The Stingrays are really matching the Strikers through this transition zone, which is great.
Really liking the effort of the Central Stingrays. They took a little bit of time at the start to get their game right, but they are playing with intensity now, and they're asking some brilliant questions. Long ball, another lovely strike from our winger. Great read.
Big difference there you've seen there from the Strikers. When they're coming up to hit the players catching the ball and the defender at the same time. With the Stingrays, just that half a metre is enough for that pass to get passed on and get in behind the defence.
Once you make that decision, you've got to go, Maya. You can't be half-hearted. You're either striking or you're not. Runs a Geordie, 32 inside, stepping back. Numbers 3-2, 2-1. Going for the corner. Ref says play on. We'll play that.
We just talked about that exact thing, the difference between when you're hitting. As we've seen there both times, both the link and the winger for the Stingrays. We'll see it in this replay. Not quite getting there in time, and the pass was managed to get away. And there we see the difference. One ends in a touch turnover, the other in a touchdown. 7-3 Strikers.
Reaction time so important in our game. That 1 second of delay. So we want to hit our line and get up high. Northern Strikers 7, Central 3, 10 minutes gone in our game. We run another rooster. And we'll take it back out to the 7. Roll ball, Central Stingrays ball. Runs a 33 peel or an ML, as they say in Australia. Runs the passive, throws on, and handover. Northern Strikers bringing it from their far side. Let's see what their settle pattern is. They'll drive one to the middle. They're looking to shift now. Caught with another one in the middle. Now they get it to their sideline. Here comes our Latcher. We're going to throw off. Latcher drives. Here we come for strike dump. Got the outside middle. We're throwing out. Drive it back in. We'll drive again. Got to keep going. Keep the flow on. Keep the flow on. Slips. We're running an in goal. It's a horse race. And handover. Bring it back to the 7. Roll ball.
We were talking earlier this morning, Shane, around these competitions and whether you were involved in any of these back in, when I say your days, you're still carving up these days, but back in the earlier years when you're at the open level?
Yeah, in New Zealand now, mine, we've got 120,000 players. 50,000 of those are young people. When we were around, it was we had some big numbers as well, and you'd have regional teams. All your modules would come together and you'd pick a regional team from 3 or 4 modules, and they'd go and play other modules across the region. Every Saturday and Sunday you'd play 3 or 4 tournaments. We would go where Galaxy wasn't playing, so we had a good chance to win the money. But yeah, changing times. A lot of our population got other options, choices, and work has taken up a lot of our time on weekends now.
We see the 8th touchdown there for the Northern Strikers.
Let's have a look at that replay from Ad Staff. They bring a sweep around. Nice at the advantage line. The defenders are offside because he's come around so early. And hesitation in the defence. Down. Just that speed at the line. They're still retreating. He's got his timing right. You probably want a nice red touch when they're setting up, just to dislodge the ball and not to get them a clean platform where they can pick it up and be dynamic. Bit of work around that ruck would really help dislodge that ball or make it difficult to get a clean platform.
Yeah, I think the defenders were almost standing on the same spot of grass too, so I'm sure something went wrong in that space. The Kaikoura grass, Shane, what's the impact on the legs? Does it take a little bit more of the energy out of it?
It's not as... It's a little bit more difficult to play for. It might seem like a little thing, but it's a 1%er. It's not as stable, so your footwork sometimes goes a little bit lopsided. The ball can roll because kikuyu grass is historically uneven grass. So there are little things like that, Maya, that mean you just got to be aware of what you're doing with the ball and have your concentration right. Do the 1%ers really well.
You played at this venue before, like if you look at the top of the screen there, what an outstanding venue. Stingrays hot on attack.
Oh, he's got a great dive for a strong man. He's just dynamic on his feet and gets under well. Runs another 33 peel and ML, as they say in Australia, short ball. Ooh, an opportunity there. Would have loved to seen him just come round on a bump.
What's a bump?
A little pop-up as the man, throw it to your man inside. As the defender comes in, he pops it up to you and you peel around really quickly. A real quick little peel. And it's a bump ball. Just bump it up and keep running. As we see the Northern Strikers boxing hard. The referee's not happy with that.
Full pass off the ruck.
The little 1%ers, we'll be wanting to get them right at all levels of our game.
What's your thoughts on the adjustment to the rules, the changes of the rules, the moving the ball 10 metres forward for some of the penalties, etc.?
Yeah, consistent with what I'm seeing in Australia, Maya, and a really, really good rule. The reason I like it, Maya, is it gives the team more chances to attack on the line from a closer position, which is bringing excitement to our game.
They must have been practicing the tip on. This is the second out of the 4 touchdowns for the Central Stingrays. We see them just working it back towards this left side, off the drop. Comes back off Anderson, just passes him behind Anderson. Tip on here, out to the winger, or I think it might be his second touchdown, Hamiora Tamati.
Nice bat on there. Question for our link, did he need to go in and make that touch? The middle looked like he had him. Might have wanted to channel a little bit wider in his channel before he made that commitment. But a nice bat on.
Turner going back door, went a little bit early. Now they come back
on a QB. Back to Turner. They've got 3-2 this side. Pulls out.
Good hustle there from the Stingrays. Looked like they were down a number. You see them come back to the short side, late cut.
Pop it up. Great deflection by our winger. High in his channel. Able to make a play and add some value. He was high in his channel, kind of stopping the 2-1 easy pass.
That's your middle, that's the intensity.
As we go short side now.
I like it how strikers have the patience not to just run through something that they've premeditated. If it's not on, if they haven't shifted the defenders to where they want to, they'll pull back and run through it again.
There he is again. He's got a nice timing on his peel. On his sweep, gets right at the line. I'm seeing in Australia, they're checking off a lot more than we're seeing here, Maya. They're playing a lot more with the ball. They're moving it, and they're less static than we are in New Zealand. We just keep moving the ball around and ask questions of the defence. as our Central Stingrays bring the ball through the middle of the field. Nice opportunity. See, check again. Yes, that's what we want to see. Check again, check again. Opportunities to keep that ball moving and into space, making the defenders make decisions.
Not one of those opportunities, though, Shane.
Unfortunate for our young man there. The other thing was I'm noticing back in New Zealand is we're setting a lot of our 32 platforms quite close to the middle of the field. Australia are bringing it right over and opening it up a massive open side to run a foot race or get a ball beat man. And so we seem to put our 32s either 10 or 15 metres in from the sideline. Australia are running their 32s 5 metres in from the sideline.
Another intercept, third of the game. This one by the number 12, Reece Brosnan. Gives the Stingrays a good start. Third touch, right on the attacking 10-metre line. Fresh legs on now.
3 minutes to go in this game. Central have put on a good performance in the second half. As they said here, again we come on an email. Runs short side. Looks short side.
Forward.
And offside or forward?
That was tap forward.
Tap forward. Thank you, Maya.
Mr. Dusto, referee Dusto, not happy with the length of time Rehana was taking to give the ball back. And we see them go in for the fifth.
Big acknowledgement to the Central Stingrays player there. He knew where the player had been sent from, and he knew that there must have been a hole. Quick tap, sent it straight to the space. Really quick thinking there. Well done. Well done to our Central Stingrays. Our replays brought to you today by AdStar for all your needs.
Pretty sure the score was 5-1 at half-time. So we look at the scoreline now, 8-3. That suggests that the Stingrays team have winning the second half, 4-3, which is excellent. I'm sure they'll want to take this momentum through. This is only game 1 of 4.
And as we know at the Marae Maya, last try wins. So how hard can this team finish today? They've come back from 5-1 down to 8-5. They'll be comfortable with that second half performance. Nice pop out, and we're still running. Well done.
The catalyst for me in terms of this comeback is not only the variety that they're throwing at them in attack, the Stingrays, but Ben Anderson, he's really stepped up in the second half. You're seeing his hand on the ball a lot of the times when these Stingrays are getting across the line. We see him here with it again.
Yeah, quality player. Want to see him inject himself into the game as much as possible with the skill and talent he has. Go, Benny! Nice touch. Benny Anderson on the long dive. Here we go again. Look at the Essex replay. Nice. Just those little 1%ers. If the ball's in front of Benny, if he doesn't have to hold up to pick it up and he can just get under, that's the difference between a try. Lovely drive. That's what we're talking about. Here we go. Here's the speed we want to see. Here we go. Here we go. You can't coach speed.
That is just clinical, right? From one end to the other, Shane. It's exactly what we've seen a lot of our men's open teams do. North Harbour, I've seen a lot of that from them at the national tournament 2 weeks ago. Just everyone on the same page, keeping their spaces, attacking the right defender, making space on the outside. It was like a freight train just going down Main Street.
Yep, I thought I was back at Coffs Harbour then, Maya. As we drive down, we want to stop those first 3 touches. They've got 2 touches and they've got down the line. It'll give them 4 strikes, 3 strikes. We want to be more aggressive with our wave D and trying to get 2 before the 10-metre line. We don't want them having 3 shots. We want them to have 1 shot on our line. It's all about percentages, Maya, as we run another 33 peel. Steps back open. Long ball. Oh! Last try wins! Oh! Congratulations to both teams today. Our Northern Strikers winning this game 9-5. Maya, take us out.
Yep, great first game performance from the Strikers. Dominant, carried it on from a lot of the players from the winning national team. 9-5 in the first one. Stingrays good comeback second half. Let's see what happens in our next game.
Premier Touch League here at the beautiful Te Puru in Beachland. Hey, just if you're feeling like you need a copy, that wasn't too bad. 9-5 that game there. Final score. Well done to the Strikers. If you need a copy, the coffee card is open, folks. I just had a flat white. It was delicious. So go grab yourselves a hot drink. There's also fresh air, free of charge. First inhale.